Hi, Gates here with GACTradingPro.com. Welcome, and today we're going to be talking about funded performance accounts. And if you look down a little further on the page, you'll see that there's some fill in the blanks areas where you can actually take some notes based on the information that I'm going through in this video today. And what I would do is, as I'm going through here, I will go ahead and pause the video, take some notes in each section, then come back to the video until we're done. But anyway, what we're talking about today, performance accounts, these are not new. These have been around for a while. There's a variety of different companies that offer some version of this product. And if you're not familiar with them, basically what it boils down to is if you can show and prove that you're a competent, consistent trader, you can trade consistently and profitably, then you can get access to a funded account where you can trade for profits without risking any of your own capital, without trading any of your own capital, and you keep a high percentage of the profits. In most cases, it's usually about 80% plus. And it's just a great way for traders to, a couple of things is, either trade more contracts or, and in some cases just trade if they don't have the funds to trade themselves, or for a lot of people, kind of, address the psychology of trading for real money. Some people trade great on paper. The second their money's on the line, it all goes awry. And so it's just a great product that has really helped a lot of traders save themselves from themselves in most cases. And I'll share with you a personal story about why actually these are kind of such a big deal to me. My dad was a commercial real estate broker, but he traded on the side to the point where he actually eventually got registered as an investment advisor. And he was kind of my hero, and definitely one of the smartest people I've ever known in my life. And in '98, he was diagnosed with cancer, and 7 weeks later, he passed. It was very sudden. We weren't prepared by any stretch emotionally, financially. It really just kind of came as a shock to us. He was only 59. And when all of this kind of took place, he had been trading very consistently. He'd actually been working with quite a few people's funds at this point, and was doing really well. And he had mapped out his strategy with every detail. It was very meticulous. And when he passed, as someone who is dealing with the loss of their father and their hero, I wanted something to kind of feel a little bit closer to him. So I took a strategy, I learned it, I started trading it. At the time, we were trading index funds. We were trading a product that basically doubled the volatility of the NASDAQ. And it was day trading. We were in and out constantly. And I learned it really, really well. And at first, I was actually trading my account that my parents had set up for my brother and I, and then my mother's life savings at this point. And we started small, kind of dipped the toes, and it started going really, really well. And we kind of took it and ran with it. And I had taken my mother's about $100,000 and built it up in just a matter of about 3 or 4 months to about $650,000, and about the same percentage of return on my brother's and my account. And in my head, I actually had convinced myself that this was my dad, one last shot at taking care of us, and that there was some sort of a divine intervention. But we started to take some hits, and my timing was all off. I would take a long trade and it would immediately head south. I would take the short and it would just skyrocket. And within another couple of months, I had wiped out my mother's account and my brother's and my account completely. And at this point, we were emotional wrecks, certainly not clear of any sort of reasonable thought. And my mother decided, and at the time I agreed because it had gone so well in the beginning, that she was going to take out every bit of equity she had in the house. This was the house that my father built in 1972, that they raised us in, that was almost paid off. And so she took that out, and within a pretty short period of time, I'd wiped that out as well. And this was before even the end of the year. If any of you are old enough, you may remember what happened in late 98, early 99, particularly with the NASDAQ, and it was completely devastating. Most of my life after that was spent around traders and trading in one form or fashion or another. In fact, at one point I was even coaching for a friend's education company that was teaching a form of trading, because I did have some background, I did have some knowledge, but it was even years and years and years after that before I was ever able to pull the trigger and actually trade again. It was pretty devastating. And fortunately, my mom, my brother, and I, we're all okay now. It's been 20 plus years, but that left a massive impact on me. And I think back to, if I had had a product like this back then, I would have protected myself from my emotional decision making, because when I didn't get out, when I didn't stop trading, when things started to drop, it was not a logical decision to continue to trade. And a product like this would have given me, 80% or more of those profits without risking and ultimately decimating these accounts. So at any rate, they are phenomenal products. They are a protective product. It means that you give up a little bit in terms of your profitability, but you do protect yourself from those losses. So as I mentioned, there's a few different companies that offer this type of product, and they all have different features and benefits, and they all have pros and cons. And for the most part, everything that I've seen, all of them really do offer some great benefits to the traders that use them. But there's really only one that I recommend and ever will recommend, and that's Apex Trader Funding. And the reason is the founder and CEO, Daryl Martin, is actually, I've known him for over 20 years. We met in 2000 on a church retreat to Six Flags. We hit it off. We've remained friends since. And he has made his living primarily as a trader for well over a decade now. And he even started an education company. He's got hundreds of loyal students and followers that he's developed strategies and tools and techniques that make trading easier for the students that work with him. And as a trader and as an educator, he worked with one of these other companies, and at the time he felt was the best option out there. And everything was going great until at one point, after a really, really big payout, they changed their rules on him mid-game, and they capped the maximum payout for his account, as well as everybody else's. They just changed their policies, and he didn't think that was fair. So within short order, he looked into it, and Apex Trader Funding was born. So as we move forward from here, as I go through these examples, I am going to be using specifics as it applies to Apex Trader Funding. Like I said, every company's terms are a little bit different. I like Apex Trader Funding because they are so trader oriented. This is designed to be the product that Daryl wished he had when he was trading. And so as we go through these examples, I'm going to walk you through the steps of how it works, and I'll use some specifics from how their format is set up. But the first step, and this is with any company, is you're going to go through an evaluation period. The evaluation period is where you prove to this company that you can trade consistently and profitably. Equate this to a bank going through an income verification, an employment verification, a credit check before they issue a credit card or a loan. What they're attempting to determine is whether or not you are an acceptable risk. So the way that this works, and again, they're all going to be pretty similar, but with Apex Trader Funding, they set you up with a paper account, and you're going to trade in real time on this paper account, and you have to trade a minimum of 10 trading days. They don't have to be consecutive, but they can be. And during those 10 trading days, there is a profit target and there is a maximum trailing drawdown. And the goal is to hit that profit target without dropping below that drawdown. And the way this works, of course, they want to do 10 days because they want to eliminate those fluke lucky trades. You might get into a trade that will put you past the profit level in one trade in one day. That doesn't tell them anything. So they need to see that consistency. And so, for example, with Apex Trader Funding, if you are looking at getting a $25,000 funded account, you have a profit target of $1,500 and you have a trailing drawdown of $1,500. If you reach that profit target and trade a minimum of at least 10 days, it can take you 15, 20, 30 trading days. It doesn't matter, as long as it's at least 10. If you reach that profit target and you don't fall below that drawdown, then you qualify and they set you up with a funded account. This gives them real-time data. This gives them current data. Now they can see and determine whether or not you are an acceptable risk. And the way this works is, in order to set up your evaluation account, the cost depends on the size of the account. I always use the $25,000 account because that's that first level account, that smallest level account. With Apex Trader Funding, it's $147. That gives you 30 days to pass that evaluation. Now, if you need to, you can extend it for additional 30-day periods if you're not trading every single day or whatever the case may be. And with that does include your real-time data, which is a $55 a month value. That also includes the license key for NinjaTrader, which is the preferred platform. It can be used on about 20 different platforms, but because NinjaTrader is the preferred platform, they do include the license key, which can obviously save you and offset a lot of that cost as well. And they also do support NinjaTrader. They don't support any of the other platforms because, of course, that's not their familiarity. But at any rate, so you get the data, you get the license key, and that's going to cover a significant portion of that cost. Now, because of the relationship that we have, they've given me the opportunity to offer a 50% discount on that evaluation fee. So now you're at just under $75. You're getting the license key, you're getting the data, so you're already ahead of the game when you even start the evaluation, which is definitely a nice feature. Now, in order to set up an evaluation account, the cost is going to be different with every company, and it's going to vary based on the size of the account. I always use the example of a $25,000 account because that's where most companies were going to start. And with Apex Trader Funding, it's $147 for 30 days. That gives you 30 days to pass the evaluation. You can add additional 30-day periods if you need to, if you're not trading every single day, if you need to reset the account. It just gives you as much time as you need to ensure that you pass the evaluation. With that, you are going to get real-time data included, which is a $55 a month value, and you're also going to get a NinjaTrader license key, which is a $75 a month value. And you can trade this on over 20 different platforms. They do recommend NinjaTrader. They only support NinjaTrader. It's their preferred platform because it's what they use. But it does include the license key and the data, which ultimately is going to be about $130 value. And one of the things that they've authorized me to do is to, and I'll kind of go through this at the end of the video, is set you up with a 50% discount on this fee. So whether you use it for 1 month or, I mean, it takes you 6 months, whatever, it doesn't matter, that 50% discount will apply all the way through. And so with that $25,000 account, now you're a little under $75 a month. You've got the NinjaTrader license key, you've got the data included, so you're already ahead of the game. So as you look at a product like this, I think it's a very important question to ask yourself is can you pass this evaluation? In the example of a $25,000 account, can you reach a $1,500 profit level without hitting a $1,500 trailing drawdown? And if the answer is yes, then you're a good candidate for this product. If the answer is no, I think it's important to be realistic with yourself that you're going to spend some money on some evaluation time and fees, and it may not be the right time. You may want to ensure that you're prepared and ready before you move forward with a product like this. Now, I'll share with you some tips that I've learned through going through the evaluation process and ensuring that you have the best chance of success in going through an evaluation. The first thing is to get everything set up. If you're going to use NinjaTrader, get your account set up, get your charts, whatever it is that you trade. You can trade any strategy you like. It's not about what strategy you use. It's about being consistent and being profitable. So get everything set up, get all your ducks in a row. And I do recommend, if you have not been trading consistently, whether you're paper trading, live trading, or whatever the case may be, I do recommend that you take a couple of days and paper trade and just make sure that you're right where you need to be and ready to go. Now, the second tip that I'll give you is scalp. Go for the short trades. And the reason that we suggest this is you can have a profitable trade that will knock you out. And what I mean by that is that during the evaluation period, the drawdown, it's a trailing drawdown. So for example, if you have a $1,500 trailing drawdown and you take this trade and it just goes haywire, and you get to $2,000-$3,000 profitability, obviously you haven't hit, if you haven't hit your 10 days yet, you're still going to have to continue to trade. Well, if that trade comes back and gives back $1,500, $1,600, $1,700 of that profit, you've been stopped out. You've hit that trailing drawdown. So the best way to protect yourself from that is to go for those short trades, go for those scalps, go for those quick ones. Those are going to be less likely to give you that bigger drawdown based on whatever that max amount of that account was. And the example I just gave you, if you were up $3,000 and you give back $1,600, you're still profitable $1,400 on the trade, but you didn't pass your evaluation. So the rules, of course, have to be in place. There has to be some framework. So since that's the framework, you want to make sure that you're aware of that, and you don't put yourself in a position to turn a winning trade into not passing your evaluation. I also recommend making sure that you plan out your trade days. If you're comfortable trading in the news, trade in the news. If you're not comfortable trading in the news, just make sure you know what's coming up. Make sure you know what obstacles that you might be hitting so that you can plan out your at least minimum of 10 trade days so that you're in your comfort zone and have the most likelihood of success. So let's talk a little bit about the differences between an evaluation account and a funded account. Once you reach the status of a funded account, the rules are a little bit different. They're a little bit more favorable because you've already proven yourself. So for example, in an evaluation account, you have a trailing drawdown. No matter how high that account goes, that trailing drawdown will always trail with it. When you reach the status of a funded account, it stops at $100 over the initial value of the account. So in the same example of that $25,000 initial account, your initial drawdown is $23,500. You've got that $1,500 drawdown. It will trail until your account value reaches $26,600, because at that point you reach $25,100 drawdown. And from there, that becomes your drawdown point. It will not continue to trail after that. So you could make $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 on that account. That drawdown level will stay at $25,100. If you do hit that drawdown level, then of course you just start over and go through a fresh evaluation and get started with your fresh account. The other thing is you can actually set up multiple accounts. We talked about the 50% off promotion that these guys have allowed me to offer you, and that covers up to 10 accounts, but you can actually have as many accounts as you want. The fee structure is the same. It just gives you an opportunity to spread that risk out a little bit and potentially increase your profits by having more opportunities, be able to trade more contracts, or just minimize that risk. Now, the really nice thing about the funded account, of course, this is where you can actually start making money. The way that Apex Trader Funding does their payouts, they pay out 100% of the profits for the first $10,000. And then from there, you get to keep 90% of the profits from there on out. There's no caps, no maximums. If you continue to make money, they will continue to pay you out. Okay. Now, let's talk a little bit about the costs and what you get with your evaluation with your funded account. So with the evaluation account, of course, it's the evaluation fee, which starts at $147 for a $25,000 account. It does go up to about $600 for a $300,000 account. And as I mentioned, stay tuned and I will show you how to get your 50% off. That applies to any size account, and that applies to as long as that account is open and active. So if you need more than one 30-day period, it doesn't matter. You'll still continue to get the discount. Once you get to funded account status, it's just a flat $85. You still continue to get the NinjaTrader license key. You still continue to get the real-time data. So again, you're ahead of the game there. And then from there, if you need to do a reset, whether it's evaluation or after it's funded, it's just an $80 reset fee. And remember, this is saving you from at a minimum of $1,500 drawdown. This is where that protection comes into play. This is where these accounts really start to shine. Okay? Because we're all going to have those good days. We're all going to have those bad days. We're all going to need to do a reset from time to time, and it really protects us from ourselves, from bad market conditions, from whatever scenario puts you in a position. Now let's talk about what you get. Regardless of whether it's an evaluation account or whether it's a funded account, you are getting that NinjaTrader license key, $75 a month value. You are getting that real-time data, $55 a month value. And they also have a phenomenal support system. Their page, if you want to peruse through their page, their FAQ page is massive. It covers just about everything. And you can actually search based on any specific topic. Their search function and their database is phenomenal. So check that out as you go through there. So let's talk about what's next. The next step is simply go to their page. You can see the big orange button just on the bottom right hand of your page here. And if you click on there, what you're going to want to do is go through the page, answer any questions that you have. Go through the sign-up process. When you're checking out, make sure you put GAC50 as your coupon code, GAC50, and you get 50% off your evaluation for life, for as long as that account is active, as long as you sign up before November 15th. After that, you are looking at the traditional pricing. So take advantage of this while you still can. Click that orange button, get signed up, and please make sure you let me know how it goes. Thank you guys and have a wonderful day.